Hi friends, it's Philip again. I'm coming here to tell you that I have some exciting personal news. So my wife and I are actually going to be traveling for spring break to Europe. So I know we talked in a previous video, so my video about the gold card, I discussed a trip that I made to Europe where I went to London and then I went to Paris. So my wife and I really enjoyed that trip. But we also identified a few things that we wanted to do in each of those cities that we didn't have time to do. So we actually found out that we had a decent number of points. And so we actually decided that we were going to book another trip to England and then to Paris as well again for spring break. So we're actually going to start leaving in the next couple of days, and then we're going to be gone for about 14 days. And so we're kind of excited about that. But what I wanted to do in this video is talk a little bit about things I'm excited about and kind of how these points in this trip was made possible. So I'm in Orlando, Florida, and Orlando, Florida is already pretty much the tourism capital of at least America, right? Apologies to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, right? But Orlando, a lot of people come here for vacation. One of the great benefits of being in Orlando is that a lot of flights come into our Orlando International Airport. The airport call sign is MCO. That's actually from McCoy Air Force Base, which is what it used to be way back in the day. But that gives us a lot of points opportunities. So basically, we used 53,000 Virgin points, and I actually had 50,000 of them from opening up the Virgin Red card, which I actually opened up in October. So I had 50,000 points from Virgin. We also transferred 57,000 points from American Express, and I think it was about 10,000 points from Capital One. And so what we were able to do with those points specifically is, first of all, we got a flight out of Atlanta to London. So Atlanta to London Heathrow Airport on Virgin Atlantic Premium Economy. Now, you may have noticed on the gold card video that my wife and I did premium economy out. And so one of the things that we like about that flight is it is an overnight flight, but you leave around 6-7 o'clock at night, but you also arrive in London at 6 a.m. And so it gives you plenty of time to figure out what's going on. It even gives you a chance to get into the city before traffic gets too bad. And so it's an interesting time, and we don't really do a whole lot of sleeping, and so we just kind of like power through it. And we did the premium economy last time, and it was a great experience. So that flight, the reason why we're flying out of Atlanta is I actually found a flight for 27,000 Virgin points for both of us. So 27,000 for the two of us. We're able to fly, and I think it was like $250 in fees ish. And so we're across the ocean, right? 27,000 points. And so that's 27,000 Capital One points, Amex points, Virgin points, whatever. Virgin transfers from a lot of the banks, right? So that's our first thing. Now we had to do a positioning flight to get to Atlanta. And we're actually going to stay in Atlanta for a couple days. We're actually using a Southwest flight. So we did, I think it was 24-ish thousand Southwest points that we had, which I had the Southwest cards. So we had, I have, a couple 100,000 Southwest points in reserve. So that's usually what I use for my positioning flights. So we're flying to Atlanta, flying from Atlanta to London, and then we're actually going to be staying at a bed and breakfast in the Cotswolds. So if you haven't heard about the Cotswolds, think about the most quintessential like British countryside, sleepy, kind of drizzly town. Maybe there's some sheep in the background, right? There's rolling bushes, a little creek. That's the Cotswolds. And so we did a day trip through there on our last trip, but we really just wanted to focus in on that. So we're going to be staying at a bed and breakfast called the Dial House in Bourton on the Water, as I'm told how you actually say it. And so that's going to be for 2 nights there. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to show it to you guys. Then we're going to stay a couple nights in London, again at the Conrad, which is where we stayed. And we'll talk about that whole thing later because it's truly an incredible experience. And then from there, we're actually going to, so first of all, in London, we're going to be returning to one of the oldest taverns in London. It's called the Ship Tavern, when they make an incredible meal. It's really incredible. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. But then from London, we're going to take the Eurostar once again. We're going to take the mid-grade class into Paris. and then we're going to actually stay in Paris for a couple days. So we're not going to stay at the same hotel that we stayed at. We're going to be a little bit closer to the Eiffel Tower, but it's a Hilton property called the Canopy, and I'm really excited about that property as well because they have a rooftop bar that has a view of the Eiffel Tower. Some of the rooms have really great views. I'm just really excited about that trip. And then we're also going to see we're going to go to see Disneyland Paris, something we didn't have time to because, we hit the Louvre, we hit Versailles last trip. And, with those day trips, we even hit a cooking school where we got to learn how to make croissants. That was crazy. And so, we didn't have enough time to do Disneyland Paris. So we're going to do that as well. And then, of course, for our Jellycat fans out there, we got to stop by both London and Paris and get those Jellycats. So, that's going to could be a separate video. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments below. But then we're going to hang out. And then we get back into the points of it, right? So from Paris, we're going to fly to Manchester. And the reason we're flying to Manchester is I was able to find 2 business class seats on Virgin, once again, from Manchester to Orlando, which is our home airport. So we don't have to do any positioning flights once we get back into the States. We're home. It's going to be fine. We're going to have so much fun. Those business class seats were 45,000 points per person. So let me read that back, folks. 2 business class seats in Virgin Atlantic from Manchester to Orlando, 90,000 points total. So if you're taking a look at the 27,000 points we used before, and the 90,000 points that we've used, just in this recent trip, that is going to be 107,000 points. All right. Yeah, 117,000 points. Sorry, that's fast math. That's why I'm a teacher, right? But yeah, so there's 117,000 points so far, and so our trip is covered. Now it is from Manchester, so the fees were roughly, I think, like $600 per person. And so, sure, that's the same cost of an economy flight, but for that same cost, you get a lie flat seat. You get, all the stuff, and it's possible through those points. So, so the flight, Air France flight, we're flying from Paris to Manchester. We got that for 5,000 points per person, Air France flights. So that's another 10,000. So we're at 127,000 airfare points redeemed for this trip. And we're sitting pretty pretty, and so I'm excited about this trip. I'm going to try to bring as much as I can to you guys because I just want to share kind of why we do this whole thing, right? So we get locked into the nitty-gritty details of how much money we're spending on the credits and the annual fees and all these things. But the reason why you travel and the reason why you're part of the points and miles game is you really want to get those experiences that wouldn't be possible without those credit cards, right? And so that's kind of what I want to show with this. So this is kind of like a preview video showing exactly what's going on. I can't wait to show it to you guys. And so 2 highlights that I'm kind of really excited about are going to be the Centurion Lounge in Atlanta. It's during spring break, so I don't know how busy it's going to be or if we're going to get in, but it would be a great experience to try and figure that out because we have access with our new Platinum card, and so really excited about trying that. And then, we're going to be returning to the Air France Lounge in Paris, so that's going to be fun. That was an incredible experience last time. And then, everything else we're going to be doing. So I can't wait to share it with you guys. Thanks for joining me. If you have stayed this far, so far, put a plane emoji in the comments below so I know, that you are the OGs. And anyway, I will see you later. And I may even be in a different country next time I see you. So I'll talk to you later.